Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. Today's topic, Joe Kelly, and my take on the interview that he gave with the Big Swing podcast. Kudos to their podcast for getting this exclusive interview with Joe Kelly, who really laid it on the line. We'll get to that in a second. His direct and hard hitting quotes. But first, Joe Kelly, for me, is such a mercurial player, mercurial person that I find myself going back and forth on him at times because you got to take the bad and the good with Kelly. And both of them are like this. There's no in between. Those of us who know the Dodgers now and know Joe Kelly now as a Dodger, we know he's either very good or pretty bad when he's off and when he's wild. So that's a bad and the good, right? But when he is good, we love him on the team. But here's the other part of it is that he's got a history with the Dodgers that some fans who maybe weren't around being Dodger fans at the time might not remember Joe Kelly for being infamous Joe Kelly in Dodger history. In 2013, the Dodgers were on their way to the World Series. They were playing the St. Louis Cardinals in the NLCS. Winner goes to the series. Game 1, Joe Kelly, at that time a starter with the Cardinals, was facing Hanley Ramirez, at that time the best bat and the Dodgers' best hope for a World Series championship. What does he do? Game 1, first time up, facing Hanley, he hits him in the ribs, cracks a rib. Hanley was never the same again. The Dodgers were never the same again. Series Cardinals, and they went off to play in the World Series. Who knew if they won or lost? All I know is my team wasn't in it. So Joe Kelly was a villain for a while. Here's something else about that Dodgers team. The only game that the Dodgers won in that NLCS was Lima time. Jose Lima's game. They won that one, and he pitched a hell of a gem. And he would have pitched well for us in the World Series too, that I believe. All right, so getting back to bad and good, you got to take bad and good. So when Joe Kelly first came to the Dodgers, I felt like, what do we want this guy for? But he's on my team, and here's the good that you get with him, okay? One thing about Kelly is that he's consistent. He went after Hanley because his team wanted to win, and he wants to win when he's with us. And in that way, it ain't personal, kid, it's business. And so I can see that. But what he did on this Big Swing podcast was he talked about what happened with the Astros and what happened with that whole blow up and his suspension. Get a load of these quotes. Let me get this up here. I want to get it right. He called the Astros little bitches. All right? So he pulled no punches. Here we go. On the Astros, this is Joe Kelly. They know they're cheaters, but now they mess it up by ruining other people's lives. And that's something that I've talked about in the past before. So they effed it up twice. When you taint someone's name, by cheating and ruining their game and ruining their reputation as an athlete, when you taint someone's name to save your own name, this is one of the worst things you can probably do. I think I'll be irritated forever. Same thing me too, I believe, Kelly. Kelly pitched in the American League and they cheated him. Now here's what Kelly had to say about the incident that the Dodgers had that night and his suspension. This is how he feels about his suspension. I socially distanced and walked away, Joe Kelly. I didn't get close, and I followed all the guidelines of the CDC. And people on the other side, the Astros, they didn't. All right? and I've talked about this before. They walked out of their dugout, walked toward us. It was the Astros who crossed the field. Carlos Correa effing spit at our team. I don't know if it was at me. He spit out of his mouth. This guy walks over to our dugout and then spits, while I follow all the rules and I get 8 games. Joe Kelly's darn right. It's well known how I feel about Manfred and his coddling of the Astros after them being found to be cheaters. Joe Kelly's right. So he called this entire episode a debacle. He's 100% right. And you take the bad with the good with Joe Kelly. He speaks his truth. He's a consistent guy, if nothing else. And for that, he gets respect here. And go Joe Kelly. Call it out like it is. And looks like the way he called things out. Oh, as I said, I didn't have the quote, but he mentioned about the Astros. He said, yeah, they got immunity. And what did they do? They snitched like little bitches. This ain't over, folks. But this was Joe Kelly's kapow to the Astros. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time. Peace.